Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Adam and Ditto, and we are going to be doing a review today. Yay!
Yeah, with multiple people, because it's awesome.
You get multiple opinions today.
Yeah.
Alright.
Today we're talking about the Scott Pilgrim game, which you can download on the PS3 or the 360, but not the Wii.
We'll get to that.
It's just
Grumble.
crazy.
Frustrations.
We'll
get to that.
We'll probably get to that. Yeah. But let's talk about how awesome this game is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's got a really catchy kind of chiptune soundtrack by a band from New York, and whose name I forget.
Anamanaguchi.
There you go. Gesundheit. But it's got really beautiful hand drawn sprites by
I don't know his name.
Paul Robertson, I think it is.
Yeah, Paul Robertson. And it's just really fun, like, to look at and to listen to. It's a great experience overall, and it's only $10. And,
yeah.
It's totally, the way the game is set up is it's totally River City Ransom ripoff action, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of a good ripoff in the way that Diddy Kong Racing was a really good ripoff, where they just did everything right, and it's really fun to play, and it's a good experience. But it's totally exactly the same as River City Ransom. You know, you beat up bad guys, they turn into coins. You pick up items, you buy items from stores and increase your stats. It's totally like River City Ransom.
Level up.
But yeah, you can learn new moves as you level, and there's 4 different characters to play as. You can play as Scott, Kim, Ramona, and Steven Stills.
Steven Stills, the talent.
Yeah, you have to call him by his full name.
Yeah, you have to call him Steven Stills.
But yeah, and you can unlock Nega Scott, which is like Scott's evil half, and a 6th character that's going to be it's probably Knives, but nobody knows yet.
It's going to be available when the DVD comes out as downloadable content.
And it's just there's a lot of really cool references to both the comic and all sorts of other video games and nerdy pursuits.
My favorite,
because it's based on the comic book, which is very, very heavy into nerd culture.
Yeah.
One of my favorite references is an item you can buy, Never-Ending Fantasy. Obviously, it's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, there's another. You buy that in this hidden video game shop, and one of the items that you can get is Speedy the Porcupine. And yeah, there's in one of the later stages you can buy an E-tank, like to use to recover your health, and it's like blue and it's got a big E on the side. You know, there's all sorts of fun stuff like that you can catch if you're looking for it. And to the comics plus, like, I only had the first 2 volumes, but I caught a lot of stuff. Like when you beat the first Evil X, he drops $2.10, which is the exact amount that he drops in the comics. And like in the background of that fight area, you see Wallace making out with some guy, just like in the comics.
Well, I love when you first get to that first fight area and Crash and the boys are on stage. All the enemies the whole audience is like passed out. Like in the comic book, they play a song and everybody passes out.
Yeah, because they just got rocked so hard.
Nice little references. I've read all 6, by the way, and it's really interesting because this game was released as a movie tie-in, but it's more of a comic book tie-in than it is the movie tie-in, because the movie takes a lot of liberties and does a lot of things differently than the comic book. But the game, both in the way it looks and just the storyline and everything about it, is way more comic book based than the movie, and I'm okay with that. I think it worked really well in terms of what they did.
The game is it's a really solid experience, and if you're a fan of the comic, or if you liked River City Ransom,
or video games in general,
yeah. And then you would be missing out on a good experience if you didn't at least check it out. I mean, it's only $10.
It's a love letter. To old classic video games. But there's always problems with any video game ever made. Ever,
yeah, there's no great game that doesn't have any problems.
Except for Super Mario Galaxy 2. But
review for another day. The two biggest problems that I have with it are that there's no online, which doesn't bother me as much as the next problem, which is that there's no drop-in or drop-out play,
Right.
like in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I mean, when you have a 4-player game for, modern consoles that you want people to, like, play on the couch, especially if you're not going to give them the luxury of online play, you've got to have the ability to, if my dad walks in the room and is like, oh, hey, can I play? Yeah. I shouldn't have to save and quit and start a new thing, so that he can play. And then when he's done, I shouldn't have to save and quit so that I can keep playing after that. That's just stupid.
Right, well, it's like an arcade game, too, where, you'd put in another quarter and their character would appear. It should be like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's
That's what
the
they
whole
were going
game.
for.
Right.
The whole game has this very arcade feel to it, and there's no drop in and drop out, and that's just a crime.
The game is
Also, go ahead.
the game's very, very heavy on like encouraging you to play multiplayer because there's a lot of parts where there's like just so many enemies and things to get past on screen, and unless you like really level up and increase your strength and stuff like in earlier stages, you're not going to get past them by yourself. And I mean, it's doable. You can beat it by yourself. We all did it. I think we all beat it by ourselves, right?
We all beat it, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in it 4 times, so.
And I'm terrible at video games, and I was able to beat it. But
So that tells you something.
yeah, but it still feels like they encourage multiplayer, and there's no online. I can't, play with Ricky or with Josh because they don't live in the same state, let alone, the same zip code. So
Right.
that's
definitely a big problem.
Yeah.
Another thing, I'm playing it on the 360. These guys are both playing it on the PS3, and they haven't experienced this problem. But on the 360, it freezes a lot for like a split second, and so it'll be in the middle of the music. It'll be like, and it'll freeze, and the music will skip. It's like a record skipping, and it's incredibly annoying, and it happens like at random intervals. And sometimes it can freeze at just the wrong moment, and you'll not see an enemy's attack coming or something. And when it happens, it's just really annoying, and it seems like a strange problem. And all 3 of us have experienced some strange problems with the music not playing correctly. It'll be way too loud, or parts of the song will not be playing, and you'll just get the background accompaniment. And that's really weird and sloppy, and seems like something that would be easy to fix if they had just taken the time to fix that. So that's pretty annoying. And 2, also, the last thing that bugs me about it is that I wish, like, there's 4 characters, 5 that you can unlock, and a 6th that you can eventually unlock, but none of them are that different. Like, they all have different sprites and animations, and they have different colors and outfits that you can pick. Like, they're different enough, but I wish they were just a little bit more. Like, I wish they had different
attributes,
skills that they could use, attributes. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
they're a little bit different. Like, Steven Stills has a little bit more HP, and I think Kim has more guts, or whatever that stat is called.
right? Well, and Steven Stills never unlocks, or he never has a move where he like slides on the ground and kicks people. You can never unlock a move like that, and that bugs me.
Yeah. He can hit people on the ground. You just have to level him up more than anybody else. I mean, they're different enough. I just feel like they could have pushed it a little bit further than they did. But it's not a game breaker by any means. And like I've said numerous times already, the game's problems that it has do not make it not worth spending $10 on it.
It's $10. Come on, you can download it. If you like video games and have a PlayStation 3 or a 360, just download the damn game.
Yeah, I would definitely check it out, especially because I've already probably sunk 20 or 30 hours into it. I mean, I beat it as the 4 main characters and unlocked Mega Scott, and I've put a ton of time in this game. I totally got my money's worth and then some.
Right.
So I would absolutely check it out.
It's a great classic game. It would fit right in the arcades with the likes of X-Men and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and The Simpsons. It would fit right in. It's a great game. Lots of fun stuff. Based on a great comic book series and a fantastic movie that everybody should see because it's made no money at all whatsoever. I'm pretty sure this game has made more money than the movie. And it's one of those rare occurrences where the comic book series it's based on is great, the movie is great, and the game is great. That never happens. Very rarely do you even get a good game that's based on a movie, let alone one that's as good as this. So, everybody go do that. Download it, read it, watch it, play it.
Do something with Scott Pilgrim.
Yes. Mr. Pilgrim. Okay.
I think that about covers it, unless you guys have anything else that you want to add.
Well...
What about the ending? Josh loves the ending.
Well,
Yes.
we all love the ending, but should we necessarily spoil that?
No.
Let's just say that the ending has a really funny, nerdy reference to a video game that is very near and dear to Adamant Ditto. And if you have watched some of our videos and you see the ending of this Scott Pilgrim game, you will get a laugh like we all did.
Yeah. You'll also get a laugh out of Kim whenever she beats the stage and she rides off on a warp star. That's my favorite reference. Personally. I don't
What
know
about Steven Stills jumping down a warp pipe or Scott warping away like Mega Man teleports?
Those are awesome references too. Or the Rainbow Road in Subcon or Subspace, which in itself is a reference to Subcon.
Yeah.
How is this not on a Nintendo system?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there's question mark blocks that you can get coins out of. You know, there's all this.
The character select screen is ripped right from Super Mario Bros. 2.
Super Mario Bros. 2, exactly, with the curtains, everything. Yeah, there's no excuse for this not to be on the Wii. If they're trying to say because it's in HD and the Wii does now put HD, I think that's a bunch of malarkey because, you know, the game's run with sprites. It's not like they needed super high, unbelievably crisp, you know, backgrounds and depth and stuff. It's an arcade game. It's gonna look gorgeous on the Wii either way. It's done with these hand-drawn sprites.
They already have games with sprites on the Wii. You could download them. They look fine. Stop it, game developers.
There's no excuse. So, shame on you, Ubisoft Montreal.
Shame.
Curse you.
But if you have a PlayStation 3 or a 360, still get it.
Definitely check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for listening, I guess.
Yep. We'll catch you next time.